Hello, welcome to yoga. Let's go ahead and get started in a comfortable seat. Relaxing your shoulders down, closing your eyes, resting your hands in your lap, and take a couple breaths in and out through your nose. Begin to roll your shoulders forward. And then begin to roll your shoulders backward. And relax your shoulders back and down. Gently open your eyes and clasp your fingers together. Press your palms away from you and around your spine, tucking your chin towards your chest. And then begin to lift your hands up toward the ceiling, maybe slight arch in your back. Look up towards your hands. And then find a neutral spine here. And a couple times look up and down, so keeping your spine neutral, looking up towards your hands and then down towards your hips. And then look center and look left to right, left and right a few times. Turn your head back to center and slowly release your hands. As you do so, twist toward the right, letting your arms come down, using them to twist a little further. Slowly untwist. As you do so, reach your arms back up overhead, but keep your hands apart. And then release your arms alongside you. Okay. Shake out your shoulders a little bit. And let's switch legs. So cross your legs so the other leg is on top if you had your legs crossed. And then we're going to clasp our hands together again. Try to do the opposite clasp. If you can't remember which you did, just do whichever one feels most awkward. And then press your palms away, round your spine, chin towards your chest. And so they begin to lift up, slight arch in your spine, gaze up towards your hands, and then find a neutral spine, gaze straight forward, and bend toward the left, lengthening the right side of your body. Lift up to center, and then bend toward the right, breathing into the left side of your body. Lift up to center, and then slowly release your hands. As you do so, twist toward the left, bringing your hands down to the ground, maybe to your left knee, and looking over your left shoulder. Slowly untwist, lifting your arms overhead as you do so. And then release your arms alongside you. Shake out your shoulders. And let's come back to a child's pose. Hips toward heels, reaching your arms overhead, sinking your head down toward the floor. We're going to go through a couple baby vinyasas. So child's pose will kind of be our checkpoint where we'll meet up in case you go faster or slower than I do. All right, so on your next inhale, come forward to a modified plank. On your exhale, bend your elbows, lower down to the ground. Inhale up to cobra, lift your head and shoulders. Exhale back down. Inhale to modified plank. Exhale to child's pose. Inhale, come up to kneeling. Reach your arms overhead, maybe look up towards your hands. And then exhale, come back to child's pose and breathe here. So that was one round of our baby sun salutations. We'll go through 2 more. So on your next inhale, come forward to modified plank. Exhale, lower down to the ground. Inhale, come up to cobra. Exhale, back to the floor. Inhale, modified plank. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale to kneeling, arms overhead. Exhale, child's pose, and breathe. On your next inhale, come forward to modified plank. Exhale, lower down to the ground. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, back to the floor. Inhale, modified plank. Exhale, child's. Inhale to kneeling, lift your arms overhead. And exhale, child's pose. Maybe take a couple breath or 2 more in your child's pose. Then as you're ready, come up to downward dog. Once you're in your downward dog, pedal out your heels, bend one knee at a time. Then begin to walk your feet towards your hands. Come to a forward fold at the front of your mat. Pressing your feet down to the ground. Imagine you could turn your toes away from each other and then slowly begin to round up towards standing. Reaching your arms overhead. And then returning your arms by your side. On your next inhale, sweep your arms up overhead. Exhale, hinge forward at your hips, fold forward. Inhale, lift partway, lengthen your spine. Exhale down and step your right foot back into a lunge. And keep your hands on the ground here to start, back knee lifted, and then gently try shifting forward and back. Feel how it feels. Maybe when you shift back, you straighten your right leg, kind of like pyramid pose, not worrying too much about where your hips are or exactly if your back foot's on the ground. Just getting some movement into your hips, into your legs. And then refind regular lunge, front knee bent, and then step your foot back, coming to a plank. And let's take a vinyasa to downward dog, lowering down to the ground, lifting up to cobra, lowering back down, and then pushing through modified plank to get to down dog. Step or hop to the front of your mat, forward fold. On your inhale, lift partway, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold back down. Inhale to stand, reach your arms overhead. And exhale, arms by your side. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift partway. Exhale, step your left foot back into a lunge. So we should be on the other side as before. Again, moving forward and back, shifting however you want to get some movement into your legs, into your hips. And then we find lunge, front knee bent, step back to a plank. Take a vinyasa to downward dog, maybe this time lowering just halfway to chaturanga, and then lifting up to upward dog. And then slowly lifting your hips up and back, rolling over your toes to get to downward dog. Look towards your hands, step or hop to them, forward fold. Inhale to lift part way. Exhale, fold back down. Inhale to stand, put your arms overhead. And exhale, arms by your sides. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, come down into a chair, bending your knees. Keeping arms lifted if you can, or maybe opening them out to the sides. Take one more breath in your chair, and then on your next exhale, release down to a forward fold. And we'll hang out here, getting comfortable, widen your feet, bend your knees, grab opposite elbows, move your torso side to side. Lower your hands back down to the floor. Lock your feet in so they're hips distance apart or narrower. And then step your right foot back and come up to a warrior two. And let's move here. Inhale, lift your arms, straighten your front leg. Exhale, back down to warrior two. With your breath. Next time you find warrior two, hold. Take one more inhale here. And then exhale, bring your hands down around your front foot and step it back, finding a plank. And then take your choice of vinyasa, meeting up in downward dog. From downward dog, on your next inhale, lift your right leg up behind you, three-legged dog. And then exhale, bring it forward in between your hands. Then inhale up to warrior two. Same movement we started with on the last side. Inhale, lift your arms, straighten your right leg. Exhale, warrior two. Next time you find warrior two, hold. Then let's take this into a balance. Shift your weight forward to your front foot and delicately lift your back foot. Maybe coming toward half moon if you want to reach your hand down toward the floor, or staying slightly lifted. And then carefully tip your way up to standing, bringing your left foot next to your right. Arms by your side, maybe shaking things out a little bit. Eventually finding mountain pose, feet parallel to each other, standing up tall. Then on your nice inhale, sweep your arms overhead. Exhale, come down to a chair. And let's twist in this chair. Bring your palms together. Place your left arm over your right leg and lift your right arm so you're twisting toward the right. Bring your hands back together and then switch sides. Right arm over your left leg and lift your left arm to twist toward the left. Check down at your knees. Make sure they're even. Right knee's not in front of the left or vice versa. And bring your hands together, untwist, and lift your arms back up, coming back into a normal chair. And then we're going to come down to a little tree or a shrubbery. So bring your hands to your heart. Begin to bend your knees and your hips deeply. Lift your heels up off the floor. So you're coming down, maybe coming to sit on your heels or feeling as if you could. Bouncing here for a few moments on your toes. Try to keep your knees and your hips facing forward. And then slowly turn your shoulders toward the right. And then slowly turn toward the left. Turn toward the right again. Maybe stay here, or if you want to try an arm balance, don't blame me if you get hurt. Bring both hands to the right side of your mat. So you have two options here. You always want to have your left elbow against your right knee. You can put your right elbow against your hip. That tends to be easier if you're more flexible. If you are more strong than flexible, you don't have to put your hip on your elbow. And then slowly come up onto the balls of your feet, tip towards your hands, and see if you can lift your feet off the floor. Maybe stay here. If you have room, you can try straightening your legs. So you're reaching your left foot away from your head. Right toes past the front of your mat. And carefully bring it back in and land. Coming back to a little tree, facing forward. Give your wrists a break here. Wiggle around your wrists. Maybe bring your wrists together and make a couple circles with some light pressure between your wrists. Rolling your wrists around in both directions. And then we'll switch sides. So bring your hands back together and then twist toward the left. Option to stay here or to try the balance again. Hands to the left. Right elbow to your right knee. Left elbow can be at your left hip, or you can hover your left hip. And then shift toward the left. Try lifting your toes. And maybe try extending your legs. And then slowly, with as much control as you can, come back re-find your little tree. Okay. Give your hands a break again, maybe shake them out. Okay. Then we're going to come back up to chair. So reach your arms overhead by your ears, and then slowly begin to straighten your legs, bring your hips to the ground. Don't straighten your legs all the way. You want to end up into a chair because that's way more fun, obviously. Take a couple breaths here in your chair, feeling your legs. And then on your next exhale, forward fold. Breathing here, releasing everything down. Get comfortable, we'll be here for a while. Release your hands to the floor. Make sure your feet are hip distance or narrower. And then step your left foot back to warrior two. Lifting up when you're ready. And then let's reverse warrior. Lift your right arm up toward the ceiling. And come forward to the side angle. On your next inhale, lift back up to warrior two. And then exhale, hands to the floor outside your front foot. Step it back. Take it to vinyasa. We'll meet in downward dog. From downward dog, on your next inhale, lift your left leg up behind you. Exhale to bring it forward in between your hands, and inhale up to warrior two. Reverse your warrior, lift your left arm toward the ceiling. And then shift forward to side angle. Lift back up to warrior two, and then we'll find our balance, half moon type balance, shifting more weight into your left foot. Come on the toes of your right, and then carefully lift it off the ground. Feeling free to tip forward as much as you want. Try to keep your left hand hovering if you can. Hips toward the right. And then slowly come up to standing, right foot next to your left. Shake things out, feel how it feels. Bringing your feet parallel to each other. On your next inhale, sweep your arms up overhead. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift partway, lengthen your spine. Exhale down, stepping or hopping back to a plank. Vinyasa to downward dog. From down dog, lift your right leg behind you and find scorpion. Lift your right hip, bend your right knee. Maybe look under your left shoulder for your right foot. Then we're going to come forward to Pigeon, bringing your right knee towards your right hand, setting it on the floor, and scooting your left foot back, landing your back leg. And then we're going to stay lifted for a moment here. So both hands on the floor. We're going to have a strong pigeon, so as much as you can, looking forward, not rounding your shoulders down. Then imagine you could bring your legs closer to each other, as if you could bring your legs closer to lift your hips up an inch or two. And then see if you can use that support from your legs to lift your hands off the floor. Notice how it feels. If it's not good, bring your hands right back down. If it feels all right, maybe try reaching your arms up toward the ceiling and looking up towards your hands. And then if you lifted your hands, go ahead and bring them back down. Release any tension in your legs, letting your hips sink closer toward the ground. And then walk your hands forward, coming to a relaxed pigeon. Maybe forward arms on the ground, or maybe you like to bring your shoulders all the way down. Whatever's most relaxing for you here. Slowly begin to lift back up, bringing your hands under your shoulders. Tuck your back toes under, lift your back knee, and then lift your right leg up, bringing it back to downward dog. We'll take a few moments here to reset. So maybe it feels good to lift your right leg up again, move it around a few times since it's been crushed against the ground for a while. And then go ahead and bring your right foot down and lift your left leg up. Lift your left hip, bend your left knee, scorpion, looking under your right shoulder for your left foot. And then bring it forward to pigeon, left knee to left hand. Lowering your back leg, maybe scooting it back. Starting with a strong pigeon here, both hands on the floor. Pull your legs in toward each other. Gently lift your hips. And then see if you can lift your hands off the ground, maybe hover them, or try lifting them up toward the ceiling and looking up towards your hands. And then carefully bring your hands back down, relax your legs, and round forward, lowering down as close to the ground as you'd like to go. Bring your hands under your shoulders. Find your way to downward dog. Stepping your left leg back. Maybe take a short three-legged dog with your left leg lifted. Moving it around. Eventually bringing it to the floor. And then let's take one last vinyasa today. After your vinyasa, finding downward dog, and then lowering your knees to the ground, finding tabletop. Take a couple cat-cows here. Inhale, to your cow, exhale to your cat. And then find your way back to child's pose. Walk your hands towards your hips. Finding a seating position, feel free to shift your legs out in front of you, maybe sitting in easy pose like we did at the beginning of class. Okay. From here, on your next inhale, sweep your arms up overhead, and then exhale, bring your hands down to the heart. We'll do that one more time. Next inhale, sweeping your arms out and up, and then exhaling, hands to your heart. Pausing here, closing your eyes, relax your shoulders back and down. Thank you for joining me for yoga today. Namaste.